ideally you want to mini ISO the target. So, for example, you high five her, you're like, oh, you're the bad girl. And you say, hey, I like me and your friend like each other. Are you guys okay with that? And so they will say, yeah, if she is. And you go, can I borrow her for 2 seconds? And then basically you can move the target over here into like what I like to call mini isolation. And the other three girls, they'll just sit and they'll talk to each other for a second. And then you're over here with the target. And this is where you could basically get her number real quick. You can say, hey, I know you're with your friends. And like I said, I've got to get going. I got to meet my friends. But why don't we grab a cup of coffee next week? Let me get your number. So you get her number real quick, put it in your phone, walk her back to the group, and then you eject. And then the four of them can go back to their little conversation. And then you just walked off with the number. And you picked her up in front of, even though she had all her friends with her, you were still able to penetrate the set, get the extractor from the group, get the number, and then eject.
So the mini isolation can happen like, I bought your book. I told you a month ago, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, man. It was pretty fucking good. No, not like all these other books. Like it was strategy, techniques. I like that, man.
Thank you.
And yeah, man. Yeah, basically, I wanted to ask you because I have this kind of like, I want to say sticking point.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's about routines. And it's about, memorizing and internalizing new routines. Because every time I feel like I repeat the same shit over and over again, the same openers, the same false time constraints, the same routines.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like my routines, like I have few, just a couple routines, I don't have too many.
Okay.
And I literally want to expand, my, as Mr. said, arsenal of routines, But I feel like I don't know how, because I already memorized, a lot of routines, but I don't know how to internalize. I don't know what to practice. For example, let's say I memorize a couple of routines right now, and I go and approach some girls. First of all, I have this fear of trying something new. So that's why I kind of default to the same routines that I know. So I never tried it. And second, I have this fear of what if I memorize these routines and then there's still where I didn't prepare for or I don't have any routines for. And I feel overwhelmed, And also, let's say I memorize routines that I want to internalize for night game. And let's say I go do day game. And I'm like, man, I don't have any routines for day game. And I feel stuck,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man.
I'm just writing down notes and stuff. So
Yeah, no problem.
Let me ask you, where's your accent from, by the way?
Well, I'm from Colombia and Ecuador.
Oh, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
Nice, very nice. And then, how old are you?
I'm 25.
So you got an issue with, like, you're feeling overwhelmed with, you have some routines. I'm just trying to understand your circumstance. You want to learn more routines, and you don't want to be caught up in a situation where maybe you don't have the right thing to say or the routine. For example, when you're in day game, you want to make sure that you have the right type of material to get the results, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As well as night game. And also, there's so much stuff that I have in mind. Let me see, because I took some notes so I don't forget. I feel overwhelmed because, let's say I want to memorize some routines. First of all, there's like a million routines, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick this, and then next week I'm like, I didn't practice, by the way. And next week I'm like, actually, I don't like this one. I'm gonna pick this one. And I'm like that, week and week, just letting it pass.
Mm-hmm.
And, in the actual approach, I do approach girls. I do get numbers. And I also only have one, one girl in my rotation. Only one girl. I want to get more. But this is, my second point, because I feel like my text game, it's okay, it's okay. I can do a text game. But when I'm in the field, I'm like just repeating the same shit, man. I'm like, I wanna, I wanna internalize more routines. I want to expand my arsenal of routines.
What routine, for example?
I'm just saying, just in general. For example, I memorized this routine, the mystery. Are you guys best friends or something? Oh, because you make the sound facial expressions, blah blah blah. I know the routine, but I just never practice it.
Okay.
Therefore, it's never internalized.
Mm-hmm. Why not practice it? What's stopping you from that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like first of all, I'm afraid of trying something new because in my mind, I'm like, they're not gonna understand me, or they're gonna be like, what? Because I've never practiced it, and also sometimes this is crazy because let's say I go out in the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say I have some negs. I have some negs that I want to practice. But then I don't find sometimes the opportunity or the right scenario to throw that neg. So I never get to practice that neg.
Oh, okay. So you're like, you've got this neg and you want to use it, but you're like, hey, it's not, I'm not ever able, the situation never comes up or she doesn't say the right thing where you can use it.
Yeah. And
So
it happens with a lot of routines.
okay, so check this out. Like you have this arsenal, which is good. Like you're building your weapons of mass seduction, right? You got your arsenal of the routines. It's good to keep those kind of like in your back pocket in case you need them if the opportunity comes up. But you want to not lose sight of the interaction. Like remember that the purpose is to fuck the girl or make her your girlfriend or whatever your objective is. But if it doesn't come up, you can still be moving along towards the path towards securing the lay and without ever having to use any of those routines. Sometimes, for example, I might know the best friends test or I might know all these negs. Most of the time, I'm not going to use them because I'm just going to be walking up to the girl going, hey, what's up? How's your day going? Hey, let's go over here and get a drink. I'm thirsty. Hey, let's go hang out at my house and have some drinks. And then we end up fucking on the couch. So I never even have to use the routines most of the time. But like I said, if the opportunity comes up, like maybe she does have some long, weird looking nails and you might use that classic neg like, oh, nice nails. Are those real? Oh, well, they're still nice. Like you could use it if it comes up, but if I was you, I wouldn't focus on trying to look for the opportunity to use it. I would just be focused on securing the lay because like that's the goal, really, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And I agree with that. But I'm like, sometimes, for example, what I want to do is I want to go into practice, only practice mode, forget about sex. I just want to practice routines so I can have them, for the rest of my life. So, I have these routines with me, so I just don't know how to, I just don't know. I have no experience, with delivering routines,
Maybe we need a mental reframe in a way. Like, for example, you said you're having issues maybe delegating a certain time of day for practice. Like, do you have any hobbies? Do you play baseball? Do you any sports or anything like that?
Man, boxing. I used to do boxing for 3 years.
Perfect. I do martial arts myself. So yeah. So when did you go to like a place to practice boxing or did you just do it on your own at a gym or something?
No, at place.
Okay, so
boxing.
Why not make like you could even do it in your own room with like a mannequin or like so like a lamp or something like that and just practice the routines, kind of like your own dojo. Like it's like your own boxing ring. You could put on music. So for example, yesterday I had a student and he simulated a nightclub in his living room. He put on some strobe lights. He turned up the music really loud and he had a mannequin. He put a hat and a coat on it. And he was just practicing the routines on the mannequin until he could get it down. And like, he felt funny about it at first, but by the end of the session, he was just like, hey, what's up? Like, you're cute. Who are you? And he was just like, it started coming off very natural to him. But the way that I did it back in the day is like, I would practice in the mirror and I would just be like, hey, real quick, super random. I saw you from over there. I got to get back to my friends, but I thought you were super cute and I wanted to come meet you. my name's Ryan. And I would just practice all the routines for like half an hour or an hour each day. And then, of course, by the end of the week and by the end of the month, it starts becoming fluent and it just rolls off the tongue like water. And then when you're in the field and you're actually dealing with a real woman, those techniques become integrated into you and they become a part of you. And then as you're talking to the woman, it won't even feel like a routine anymore. It'll just feel like something that you are saying personally. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes. No. The thing is, like, I've been practicing, the routines on my own. I've been, repeating the routines over and over again, which, like, I know many routines because I've been repeating myself, but I haven't been, practicing out in the field. And it's like, this is crazy because, for example, when I go out to a nightclub, at a bar, at a club, previously I have already practiced, the routines on my own, in my car, in my house, whatever. But then, like, I go into a nightclub and it's like totally different than what I thought it would be in my mind. It's like there's so much chaos and so many girls. So, for example, I have this. I don't know. Hey guys, I have a female opinion. It's kissing cheating, but I don't know how to make it fit. For example, to the 3 set over there, to the 2nd set over there. I don't know how to make it fit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that's what's keeping me stuck from approaching girls at a nightclub.
Let's work on that. So you got 3 sets, you got 2 sets, and you're working with is kissing cheating, right?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah, let's say at a packed nightclub, which the noise is loud.
Have you ever like done any visualization exercises? Like when you're boxing, right? You ever like just close your eyes and you're focusing on beating the opponent, how you're doing combinations and everything?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that with pickup? Like closing your eyes and imagining, like you're envisioning in your mind like 2 girls, 3 girls, 2 set, 3 set, and you're focusing on like, how am I going to walk up? What angle? How am I going to approach them? What exactly am I going to say to them? When they respond, how am I going to respond back? How am I going to get her number? How am I going to convert that number into a date? What am I going to text her? Like, have you ever sat down and just thought about it? Just see it in your mind?
Yes, I've tried it before, but it's a little difficult because I don't do it in detail,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what...
It's like an exercise maybe you could try as homework.
In my head, I'm like, okay, if I go like in a nightclub, there's a 4 set, and I was like, hey guys, I need a quick female opinion. They're going to reject me. So I'm like, what if I throw what if I open with a name? It's like, is that better?
Yeah, you could do that. So I don't know if you heard, because it seems like you've read some mystery method stuff, right? Because I see like the Ben's friends test and some of that stuff. Sometimes he'll open with a neg and he might say something like, "Do you know why you suck?" And the girl's like, "What? What do you mean? I suck? What?" And you go, "You suck. I've been trying to talk to you all night and you're surrounded by all these people. Like, you suck. Who are you? What's your name? What are you all about?" And then, so it's like he's opening with a neg. Or one of my clients, he's a fashion designer. And what he does is he walks up to the girl and goes, "That's fucked up." And the girl's like, "Wait, what's fucked up?" And he goes, "Wearing a dress like that around a guy like me, you know what that does to me?" And then like, because it basically sexually charges the interaction, but it's like it gets her off base because she's thinking like, the guy walks up and goes, "That's fucked up," and she's like, "Wait, what's going on?" It's a great way to start a conversation.
I'm gonna write this routine. That's
for sure.
So it's like, that's fucked up. Wearing a dress like that. What else?
He walks up and he'll say like, "That's fucked up," or he'll be like, "Do you know how fucked up that is?" And then like it gets the girl's attention, or if she's with a friend, they'll all like kind of look over like, "What is this guy about to? What is going on here?" And then he'll be like, "Wearing a dress like that around a guy like me, whew, it does things to me." I'm just messing with you. My name's Jake or whatever. And then she'll be like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "I'm actually a fashion designer. So not only did I like your dress," he's basically like hiring models to work to create his fashion line. So it's kind of a big DHV because then he goes in and he's like, "No, I really liked your dress. And I actually have my own fashion line." And he'll start showing them, models that work for him and his fashion line. And that gets the girl interested. And he's like, Yeah, have you ever done any modeling? Yeah, I'm doing a casting call next week. Give me your number and I'll call you up. And that's how he gets dates. And then he has them come to his house, does a little photo shoot, has them takes pictures with bikinis, and ends up fucking them in his house. So it's like that's his whole little routine, the way he does it. It's pretty dope.
I saw that you wrote in the book that you can even tell them, I have a little party tomorrow, even though you have no parties tomorrow. So it's like they kind of forget what's happening there, because they sometimes forget, right? Sometimes like just forget and like stay in the moment, right?
Basically, like you could just give her. You just need some excuse for her to give the number, because if you're like, just give me your number, why? It's more like you're giving them a reason to give you the number, but that reason doesn't actually ever have to happen. That's why you're like, yeah, you guys seem cool. I'm having a barbecue next Tuesday. You guys are welcome to come hang out. Yeah, just
even though I don't have a barbecue.
I don't have a barbecue. I don't have a pool. Right. And it never has to happen, because it's just a way to basically get her number. And for example, I call it a multi-number close, because like in that situation with the 4-set, sometimes you don't want to alienate the friends, because if you just ask the target for her number, then the other girls are like, what about me? Like, I want to meet a guy too. And they might get jealous and they'll grab her friend and say, hey, we got to go to the bathroom. And then you lose your set. So it's better to just be like, you guys seem pretty cool. I'm having a pool party next week on Tuesday. You guys are all welcome to come. You can even bring your girlfriends if you want. Then they all feel like I'm giving value to the whole group. So then I take the number, I collect the number from everyone in the group, and then I just don't call back any of the other girls. I just call back the girl I was interested in. But I might tell her the next day, hey, the pool party got canceled. There was too much chlorine in the pool, but I was going to go to this bar if you want to get a drink. So it's like a bait and switch. You're telling her, I'm going to take you to a pool party. You get her number, and then you say, hey, the pool party was canceled, but I was actually going to this bar. Then you have her meet up with the bar, and then from the bar, you take her back to your house, and that's where the sex happens. Instead of you just walking up to the girl and saying, let me get your number, and then the other friends are like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? They're looking at this guy like you just came up and like trying to hit on her friend. You're like the creepy guy who's trying to hit on her friend, and rather than you're just a guy who's like, hey, you girls are cool. Do you guys think kissing is cheating? Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I got to get going. Hey, you guys seem cool. I'm actually having a barbecue next week. You guys are welcome to come. Let me get your numbers. Boom, 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 boom. And then, of course, you just call back the girl that you like.
One question. Can I use the same, for example, night game routines for day game?
Yeah, think of it more like just a slower pace, right? So when you're in a nightclub, you've got this music playing. Everything's loud. You're talking to a bunch of different girls, so the pacing is like boom, 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 boom. I'm talking to this girl. Hey, what's up? How's your night going? Hey, what's up, guys? Day game is more slower pace. Now it's more like it's quiet. There's birds chirping. One car passes. One girl walks by. So now it's like boom. Hey, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Get her number. Hanging out. The next girl. Boom. Boom. So it's just the pacing is really different. So think about it, it's like your game is more watered down in a way. You're going to slow down the pacing. You could use the same opener, like, is kissing cheating? But it's more like now you're at a grocery store. Now you're at a mall. Now you're at a cafe or something like that. And so you walk up to the group of girls and it's more casual. And you're like, hey, you girls seem cool. Let me ask you guys a quick female opinion. Do you guys think kissing is cheating? Boom. And then you're in the set. So like, yeah, don't let the fact that the sun is out or the moon is out, try to get that out of your head and just focus more. It's just more about the pacing and the amount of foot traffic. In the nightclub, in the nighttime, it's just like there's people everywhere. And at the daytime, it's more sporadic and spread out. Let's say, for example, you have your 2-set or your 3-set. How exactly could you describe how you would approach them and how you would open?
I guess it was a 4-set. They were in a circle. And I just passed by them. I was like, okay, I have these openers, but I don't know how to do it. It's like, I don't know how to make it fit into that set. I'm like, man, yeah, it's like, damn.
Let me show you something real quick. I'll show you. It's called holding court. When you open it up, see how now you can basically interact with the target and you can interact with all of the obstacles in the group. And versus like, let's see. Yeah, or here it is like with a 3 set. You want to be in like a position where you can kind of just converse with the whole group,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then of course, then you're gonna like isolate your target.
Got it.
Let's try that situation that you just had, right? You said you had like 4 girls, right? And they're standing kind of in a circle. They're talking to each other. This one,
Yeah.
maybe this one's really fat. This one's no, they're talking. Okay, right, and so you're over here, right? And
Yes, and there's a bunch of people surrounding.
okay, you have like all these other people, right? Talking,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that could put a lot of pressure on you. Like you have all these eyes. I like to think of all these other people as just like phantoms, and like they're just extras on a movie set. So I try not to really focus on them. So for you, for example, let's say you're moving in here, you're moving into the group right here, right? And you're going to be penetrating into the set, talking to like let's say this girl's your target, the girl you like, and we'll call her like obstacle 1, obstacle 2. This will be like obstacle 3, right? You're coming, for example, into the set like this. The girls will usually kind of split open a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 girls. You got your 4 set right here. And when you're sitting here like this, you are able to now talk to the whole group. This is like called group theory. Most people, they just try to pick off the target when maybe like she goes off to the bathroom by herself. But yeah, it's better to approach the whole group because then you get the peer approval if you win over her friends. And if her friends like you, then she's gonna like you. Let's say this is your target right here. Again, obstacle 1, obstacle 2, obstacle 3. And then you could come in with your opener. Hey guys, let me ask you a quick female opinion. Then you throw a false time constraint. I got to go in a second because I got to get back to my friends, or I'm in a rush to a business meeting. So that will minimize the discomfort. And then they're like, oh, this guy's only going to be here for just a quick second. And then you could throw your opener. I just wanted a female opinion. Do you guys think kissing is cheating? And then you could go into, because my friend, his girlfriend, she kissed another girl. Like, and then from there, you get all the girls kind of talking amongst themselves. Because you see how that works? You come in, and now you're talking to all the girls, and it's like now it becomes kind of a group thing. And you're also using like open body language, and you're also throwing a false time constraint. We're saying, I can't stay long. I'm going to take off in a second. I just want to ask you this real quick question. So now they're like, okay, like we don't know this guy, but he's going to leave in a second anyway. So we'll go ahead and just answer his question. And so then they will answer is kissing cheating? And yes, they think it is cheating. No, they don't, or it depends on the circumstances. And you can kind of just let them talk. And then if you're looking for it, then you can find the opportunity to throw the neg. Like, let's say, for example, the girl that you like, you say like, my friend's girlfriend, she kissed another girl. He got mad. He thought it was cheating. And you might say, for me, like, I thought it was kind of sexy. And so maybe the target, maybe she's like bisexual and she goes, I've made out with other girls. Then that gives you an opportunity to go, oh, hey, you're the bad girl of the group. I like that. High five. And then that kind of helps you to break the physical barrier. Now you're already touching her, or you give her a little fist bump. Or maybe this girl over here, she's like, yeah, I think it's cheating. Then, this girl, for example, is like, well, I don't know. And then you could be like, it looks like you guys are arguing or something like that. Are you guys best friends? Because you make the same facial expressions. And then they go, what? You go, like, you guys wear the same shampoo? And anyway, then it kind of moves the conversation forward. But the idea is to get off of the opener as fast as you can. The opener really is just to open the conversation. But if the girl's giving you IOIs, indicators of interest, and you can see that she's into you, you don't have to keep talking about the opener. Like, you don't have to keep going on about is kissing cheating. You can stack forward to the next routine and then basically ideally, you want to mini ISO the target. So, for example, you high five her, you're like, oh, you're the bad girl. And you say, hey, me and your friend like each other. Are you guys okay with that? And so they will say, yeah, if she is. And you go, can I borrow her for 2 seconds? And then basically you can move the target over here into like what I like to call mini isolation. And the other 3 girls, they'll just sit and they'll talk to each other for a second. And then you're over here with the target. And this is where you could basically get her number real quick. You can say, hey, I know you're with your friends. And like I said, I've got to get going. I got to meet my friends. But why don't we grab a cup of coffee next week? Let me get your number. So you get her number real quick, put it in your phone, walk her back to the group, and then you eject. And then the four of them can go back to their little conversation, and then you just walked off with the number. And you picked her up in front of, even though she had all her friends with her, you were still able to penetrate the set, extract her from the group, get the number, and then eject.
So the mini isolation can happen like after the best friends routine, like right away.
Absolutely, because you're walking in and you're like, hey guys, I just want to ask, I need a female opinion because my friend, his girlfriend kissed another girl, and do you guys think kissing is cheating? Oh, yes it is. No, it isn't. Oh, you guys are, it looks like you guys are arguing here. But let me get, you guys are best friends, right? You guys make the exact same facial expressions. You guys have the same shampoo? Oh my God, you're funny. Hey, me and your friend like each other. You guys okay with that? Hey, do you care if I borrow her for a second? I just want to show her something real quick. They're like, okay. And then the mini isolation doesn't have to be that far. Like literally the group could be here and you could take her like 5 to 8 feet away. And then you could be like, hey, real quick, I just thought you were super cute. I saw you. And I know you're with your friends. And like maybe you're at the mall. So you could be like, I know you're shopping with your friends. And I got to go meet up with my buddy right now. But I just want to grab your number real quick. And maybe we can grab a coffee next week. Or I like to say, maybe we can exchange information. I can try to text you later and convince you to come out and have a drink. And then she's like, okay.
That's the one you have in the book, right?
Yeah, this is very similar, but this is more in a night game interaction versus before it was your 4 girls and they were maybe at the mall or they were on the street and you're opening. In this regards, it's the same kind of thing. You're opening, like, let's say 4 girls or 5 girls. You talk to them for a second, you open them, then you go into the mini isolation and you just move them over to the other side of the bar or to the other side of the nightclub. So it's like the same thing. It's just the only difference is now you have a bartender. Now you have other people dancing and there's a dance floor. But it's basically the same game that you're running. You're still opening the set. You're still isolating the target. You're still getting the number. And then afterwards, you can bring her back to the group. And then you can leave and move on to the next set. Or you can try to basically, like, they call it a bounce or a venue change. So maybe you talk to the girl and you're getting along very well and she seems like she wants to hang out. You can actually take the whole group and just say, what I like to say is, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go get breakfast. And then I'll take the girls from the bar over to like a Denny's across the street. And maybe we all get a hamburger or French fries at like 3 a.m. And everybody's drunk and having fun. And now we're having food. And that gives me like basically an instant date. Like I get a date right away with a target instead of having to get her phone number and take her on a date later. Instead, I can just take her on a date right now. Going to the Denny's becomes the first date. And then if I want, I can move the whole group back to my house for the after party. Yeah, we're having an after party at my house. We're going to go drink, even though it would be just me and a couple girls. And then ideally, I want to isolate the target into my bedroom to have sex with her. And the other girls can just be drinking and talking on their phones, watching TikTok videos in the living room. And then when I'm done, they'll all leave. So that's just another way that you can play it. Or like I said, if you want to just keep going out and getting more numbers and building more leads, you can just mini ISO her, take her number, bring her back to the group, be like, hey, it was good meeting you guys, shake all their hands, and then you leave with her number. And then you find some other set over here, and then you go do the same thing. And basically, that's going to help you stack up more phone numbers, and more phone numbers are going to equal, like I like to call them leads, like I said in the book. And then you're basically taking them down that funnel system. So you have a whole bunch of numbers, and then when you call them back, some of them are going to flake on you. Some of them are going to be like, oh, I'm busy that day. You just find the next girl who's got DTF. She's down to fuck. And then basically see how many dates you can get. And then how many of those dates will convert into lays. And then ideally, however many girls that you end up having sex with, if you like the way they suck your dick, then you can basically make them into your girlfriend or your primary or put them on rotation.
Got it.
What I like to do is I consider it more like liquid, and I'll just do whatever it takes to get the job done. So if I'm out, let's say at the mall, I might be kind of practicing a routine. I don't know, like I guess you could equate it to like your boxing that way. You know how you have like a 1-2 punch combination, or you have the reverse punch, and it depends on what you're practicing. I might look at it like, what opener am I going to practice today? I'm going to practice the absolutely adorable opener, which is basically walking up to her and going, hey, real quick, super random. I saw you from over there and I thought you were absolutely adorable and I just want to come meet you. My name's Ryan. And so I'll do that on her and I'll get her number. Then I'll go to the next girl and I'll do it again. Hey, real quick, super random. I saw you from over there. I thought you were absolutely adorable, and I wanted to come meet you. My name's Ryan. And I'll just
Oh, yeah, that's what I was talking about. So that's the way you practice routines, and you kind of make them yours, in your mind, so you have them all the time. So
yeah,
you focus on only one routine. You practice that routine. For
yes.
example, let's say I wanna practice the kissing cheating. I wanna
Mhm.
practice tonight. Should I only focus on just that routine and practice that opener?
Yeah, until you get it down. You know, you do you lift weights, bench press, and anything?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you could think of it like this: when you go out to like, let's say, to a nightclub versus like going to a gym. I'm gonna go to a gym. I'm gonna go to the bench press, and I'm gonna do one set of 10 reps. Right. So I'm gonna put on the 45s, and I'm gonna do it 10 times, and then that's one set. Right. So maybe I'll say I'm gonna open 10 different groups of girls, 10 sets with the absolutely adorable opener. And then after those 10 sets, the next 10 sets, I'm going to practice the is kissing cheating opener. And now it's like, now I did one set with 10 reps, one set with 10 reps. And then after that, I could like chill out, have a lunch break, get a cheeseburger, and then a protein shake, whatever, protein bar. And then I'll say, okay, I'm going to open 10 more sets and I'm going to do this other opener, the island opener, whatever.
But then my mind is like, what do I say next?
Uh,
It's like, because only practicing, because yeah, I've tried to do this before, but I'm like, okay, what if the conversation continues and the opener is done?
mhm.
What the hell do I say?
So,
Or whatever. Should I say just whatever? But my only focus should be on the open. That's it.
well, think of it as like the opening sequence really the main point of it, like the point of saying the opener or any of the lines, is just to get her to the next phase. It's not really about just staying on the opener. It's just that's just to start the conversation. But if the girl's giving you really positive responses, if she turns right away and she's like, "Oh, haha, hey, you're cute," and she taps you on the shoulder, or if you're in a nightclub, she starts dancing with you, then the opening phase is done, and now it's time for the next phase, which would be comfort. And so
Yeah,
now,
that's what I'm saying. What if for example, let's say I say, okay, I'm gonna practice the absolutely adorable opener
mhm.
10 times today, and let's say I'm on the first set, and the first set, okay, I'm already done with the first set, and she rejects. But then the second girl, she likes it, and I'm like, okay, what do I say next? Should I go with the routines that I know already? Yeah, right.
Sure, sure, sure. You could do like the one girl, you say, "Hey, you're absolutely adorable." She rejects you. I have a boyfriend. So you go, "Okay, cool." You go on to the next girl. "Hey, you're absolutely adorable," blah, blah, blah. And let's say she's like, "Oh, thank you very much." So then basically that's done. And then you're going to the next thing. "Hey, so what are you doing right now? What are you doing over here?" "Oh, I was just going to the store. I'm just meeting up with a friend." "Oh, okay, cool. Well, like I said, I thought you were adorable. I just wanted to come meet you. What are you doing on Tuesday? Do you want to grab a coffee? We could just chat, get to know each other." She says, "Okay, sure." Then you basically move from the opener. Now you're in the number close. So then you get the number, and then from there you go into text game. Text game
Mm,
to get a date with her.
God, yeah, this is amazing. This is amazing. So you previously told me that, for example, you go into a mall and you want to practice the absolutely adorable opener 10 times, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I want to know what your focus is. So in that case, your focus is practicing that routine, and not saying is. Let's say your focus is more on practicing that routine than getting the girl.
Yes,
Or
because think of it like this: a lot of guys are very thirsty, and they're like, "Oh, I've got to get a girlfriend. I want to use the magic pickup line so the girl will like me, and so I can have sex and get a girlfriend, and then I'm out of the game." And instead of thinking like that, you should just be thinking on focusing on the process. Focus on the process of learning how pickup works. So that way even if you get rejected, it doesn't matter because you're just practicing. It's like going to the gym. I'm going to put on some weights and I'm going to practice the bench press. Oh, fuck. Like I couldn't get that one. So maybe I needed a spotter. So I'll take off a little bit of weight and I'm going to try it again. But there's no like, that's not the wherewithal. That's not the end of everything. It's just another day going to work out at the gym, but overall I'm getting stronger, right? So when you're going to the mall, it's not like you're not going out to get a girlfriend. You're going out to practice the game. You're going out to practice the openers. Hey, I'm going to do 10 approaches on 10 different girls doing this opener. See how I do and see how many numbers I can get. And then I'll try some more on this girl. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I got 4 numbers, or I got no numbers, or I got 10 numbers or 20 numbers, whatever it is. And that's just one day that got you some leads. And then the next day, you can basically call back those leads and try to get dates. But you're also going to want to go back out and start talking to more girls and see if your game gets better. Then when you're running the routines, maybe tomorrow, you learn a new routine and it might not roll up the tongue so smoothly. You might be stuttering a little bit. You might be fumbling it, or you might be clunky. But the next day, now it's memorized and you're just like, hey, what's up? Yeah, I saw you from over there. I thought you were like super cute. I want to come meet you. Now your routine and your game is much smoother. So of course you're going to get better results because the girl's like, oh, okay, this guy's he's so confident. He just came up and started talking to me. Versus when you first start and you're like, hey, real quick, super cute, and you're fucking it all up,
Yeah.
The more that you practice, the tighter your game will get. So then pretty soon you're walking up and you're just like, hey, like, I love the dress. I thought you were super cute. I got to get to a business meeting, but I just want to come over here and meet you real quick, Now she's like, oh, okay. Hey, who's this guy? And you're like, hey, I'm kind of thirsty right now. There's a Starbucks. Let's go get a drink. Boom, boom, boom. And it just starts coming faster.
Do you recommend me, let's say, practicing 2 routines at a time or 3 routines at a time, or that's too much? Should I only focus on one?
Like until you get it down, and then the more fluent that you get, you'll be able to start stacking routines together. So you'll start with your opener. Do you guys think kissing is cheating? Then you move on to the best friends set. Are you guys best friends? I can tell. You make the same facial expressions. And then you might look at her and go up and down, and you're like, can I get some space? You're standing on my dick. Like, and then she's like, what? Like, so you can throw a little neg like that. Or she starts talking, and then you go, does she always brag like this? Damn, how do you roll with this girl? Jeez. So then now you're stacking the routines together. But it doesn't always have to be the same, because you don't want to be like a cookie cutter. You want to be able to be yourself. It's just that the routines are like, there's you, and then the routines and stuff is supposed to enhance you, right? So when the situation arises, you're talking to the girl, oh, I'm not really sure what to say. Oh, yeah, I have that routine. Boom. It is you, and then that just augments you, helps your game when you need it.
It's like some tools.
Yes. Tools in your mind.
This is amazing, man. Yeah, I'm gonna start implementing this for sure, because I've been dealing with this little problem for a long time, and I was like, oh man, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that's a good technique. I'm gonna focus on one routine at a time, practice it 10 times at least. Mm-hmm. Just do that,
It's good, give yourself some time to practice it and internalize it, just like with boxing. Like the first time you box, you probably weren't able to knock someone out maybe your first day, but after you get it, now you become fluent. Now you're like, I know to hit him, bang, 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 and then the next time you'll know, I know to hit him, boom, boom, boom. Oh, but then I'm going to do this. And the way that the person is fighting you'll know how to block, and then you'll know how to counter.
Yeah, man.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to use because you said boxing. I like
the analogy of the gym, of the boxing, because it's like, for real, like you have to literally repeat the same movements. Mm-hmm. It's like you have to repeat the same routines. And it was like in boxing, I was repeating 1, 2, 1, 2. It's literally, for example, one routine. 1, 2 is one routine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was only doing that, so it's like that makes sense. I should only focus on one routine, practice it 10, 20 times. That's it.
And then take a break. And then tomorrow go back and do it again.
Wow, man. This is great. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to start implementing this. I have another question, but I was going to ask you, for example, I got a lead yesterday. I was texting her, I was trying to get a date the same day.
Mm-hmm.
But then she told me first of all, she was going to travel to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be busy, and her kids, it was a meal. Her kids are going to stay at home because school is done. And her mom is the one who, takes care of the kids. but she's in Greece, so she's gonna come back in July 28th. So she's not gonna be available until July 28th, so a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I text her. She told me July 28th. I text her, then I'll be holding my breath, But I'm like, what can I do, Should I just wait until July 28th or what?
Just keep talking to more girls, but now you have her on the back burner, like on your stove, like you're cooking. She's like a pot that's simmering on the back. On July 28th, you can put it back on the front burner, start cooking it again. But it's just there. It's like an extra. Maybe like once a week, or like maybe even wait like 2 weeks, and then you text her, "How's vacation going?" Like on Facebook, they say poke the person. It's like a poke, just to kind of say, "Are you still alive? You still there?" But you don't want to do it too much because she's, like you said, she's got kids and she's out doing her own thing. But maybe like once or twice through the next month, you could just be like, "How's vacation going?" "Okay, cool. Catch you back later." Now you're like, okay, the pot is still simmering on the back burner. And as soon as she gets back home, then you could put it back into action. But you're still going to have all these other girls too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The way that I like to do it, for example, like I say I go out and I talk to 100 different girls. And out of those 100 girls, let's say I got 20 phone numbers. The next day, just like clocking into work in an office, I have the 20 numbers here on my desk. And I like to use an Excel spreadsheet, and I'll kind of like map it out real quick. Hey, here's Mary who wore the yellow dress. I met her at the mall. This is her phone number. This is her Instagram. So I kind of do my due diligence. And then like a cold calling salesman, boom, 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 boom. I just call back down the line every morning, and I'm saying the same thing. "Hey, what's up? Yeah, this is Ryan. Oh, the guy with the tattoo at the, I met you at the mall. I met you at the nightclub. Yeah, it was good meeting you. Yeah, we should get a coffee," something like that. "Oh, you're busy? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll catch you later," right? Put her back into the queue. But if the girl's like, "Yeah, let's hang out," or she sounds like she's really DTF, then I might be like, "Yeah, I'm just kicking in my house. So let's have some drinks and watch some YouTube." Then I'll basically take her to like a Netflix and chill and fuck her on my couch. If she seems super DTF, but if she's kind of lukewarm, then I might be like, "Yeah, we can go meet up at this bar," or whatever like that. So anyway, I set up a date either later that same day or the next day, or a coffee date the next. And I do all my scheduling. I do it all through the Excel, like on that one video on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen it, but and then basically I go through those 20 numbers, and then when I'm done, then I can go back out to the nightclub and try to get more. And then through the week, I'm still following up with those girls. So It's more like, instead of just being, I don't know, sporadic or spontaneous with it without an actual game plan, it's more like if you focus and pick up like your life, and you treat your life like a business, or you treat your dating life like a business, then you're going to get a lot more results, because now you're doing it like much more professional. Now you're like calling back with intent and purpose. And then you're getting the phone number, you're setting up the dates, you're building your calendar. And after that, pretty soon you can either get a calendar on the side. Now you're like, "Oh, I got a date with Mary on this day. I got a date with Jennifer on this day. I got to go to coffee here. I'm going to go back out to the nightclub on Friday night and get more numbers." And then you just keep repeating that process, and you basically just fill up your calendar with dates.
It's like a business.
Yes.
Wow. So you in one night you approach 100 girls?
Yeah. In Las Vegas, very easy.
100 girls?
Yeah.
One. That's crazy.
Sometimes.
In night, right?
Night game. Yeah. Well, I do it usually by time. I like to play. I call it playing a 4-hour game. Usually from 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. Or I go out from like noon until like 4 in the afternoon. And I just talk to as many girls, and then I build in breaks, just like a business, just like a work day. I'll say, I'm gonna open sets for 1 hour, just like going to the gym. I'm gonna work out hard for 1 hour, and then I'm gonna take a lunch break, and then I'll go, get a hamburger or a pizza or a protein bar or something, coconut water, and take a 15-minute break, play on my phone, watch some TikTok videos, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to do another hour. And does that make sense? So basically,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Because you wrote in the book that you need a spreadsheet. I'm like, I don't need a spreadsheet because, I just get a couple leads,
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I just remember on my phone. But I was like, you do 100 approaches. I'm like, Like, how many leads can you have? It's crazy. So that's why you need a practice, right?
Mm-hmm. And there's times a lot in Vegas, like, and when you get, the more that you get into this stuff and you find other people that are also into it, it kind of becomes your life. And then that's all the guys want to do. And there, we call it a Sargathon, where you go out from like 11 at night until 11 the next morning and just try to talk to fucking, 500 people. Right now, when you're just practicing, don't try to think of like I said, it's not like you're going for the big win or getting the girlfriend. It's more just practice. Talk to everybody at first. Just be social. And then as you get better at the game, as your game becomes more refined and you become just much more fluent with your routines and everything that you're saying, then you could go for those harder targets and it'll be much easier to game them. Like right now, a lot of guys they're like, oh, I only want to talk to the super hot girls. And it's like, if they've never talked to any hot girls before and they can't even talk to some fat chick, you're not going to just go straight to level 10. You might have to work your way up. So at first, you might want to see some girls who are like average 5, 6, 7, practice with them and see how the response is. And if you're getting really good responses and you feel like your game is strong and you feel confident, then step up your game to the 8s and the 9s. And then when you get good with that, then you could walk up to a group of fucking girls who are like 8s, 9s, and 10s, and you'll still be perfectly confident, solid, being like, hey guys, what's up? Let me ask you guys a question. Right? But most guys, if they walk up to a girl who's a 10, they're going to be like, oh, they're going to be acting all fucking weird and fidgety. And, the girl's she's going to know that guy's not used to talking to girls of that caliber. Yeah, take your time. Start small and just work your way up like a video game.
But yeah, definitely. And I definitely, put into practice the system that you told me about, how to practice routines. And yeah, man, I definitely need to do that. So I'm overwhelmed, with a ton of shit. So I just need to focus more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So
thank you for your time.
No problem. Yeah, homework for this week. Just go out and try to practice some of the basic stuff, and then a couple of days later, compound on it, add a little bit more and a little bit more, and then watch it start coming together.
Okay, perfect. I will do that.
All right, my dude. Yeah, that was cool hanging out. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it helped.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ryan.
Right.
Thank you so much.
See you on the next one.
Thank you, bro.